Hey, yo, what's up, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of My Take. So, if y'all ain't watched the game, man, y'all missed a good one. This time, you've beat experience. And I want to tell y'all this, man. The referees tried to give Denver that game at all costs. They were cheating for the Denver Nuggets. They were literally calling calls like, for instance, Jokic had airball. They called a foul. When Jokic lost the ball, they called a foul. Jokic was fouling. They wasn't calling nothing. So Karl Anthony Towns got fouled by the Joker a lot of times. They wasn't calling it. But then they started calling touch fouls. You know, they basically wanted to get his game. They wanted to get his game to Denver, but Timberwolves' heart exceeded everything. You know what I'm saying? It outweighed everything. The referee basically was just trying to cheat, giving them points on the jump ball when it should have been a jump ball. Instead, they put them on a foul line. Man, they was just doing a whole bunch of stuff. But the Timberwolves stayed the course. They stayed patient. And even though Anthony Edwards had a terrible game to his standards, he still had 16, 7, and 8. So therefore, it wasn't too much of a bad game. But did y'all see how they really just tried to give Denver that game? When they were up by 5, they gave Denver the ball on a I want to say when they actually went for the loose ball. You seen what Conley called the timeout, and what they called instead? They called a actual jump ball. You seen when Joker fouled Rudy Gobert. What did they call? Nothing. They wasn't calling nothing. I'm actually glad. I'm not even a Timberwolves fan, but I'm glad that the Timberwolves won due to the fact that the official was trying to cheat and help them, prevail. And it just showed, man, the fact that they was able to overcome a 20-point deficit. And then when they actually overcame that and was up 5, then that's when the official just started really cheating, started giving them, loose ball fouls, started giving them calls that wasn't deserving, start giving them late calls. They started doing a whole bunch of, stuff that showed you that they wanted Denver to win this game, but it didn't pan out like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it doesn't matter what you try to do. If it's not your night, it's not going to be your night. And tonight was definitely the Timberwolves' night. They had to do it in basically I want to say a quarter and a half, because the first half, man, they was getting their butts handed to them and they didn't look like they belonged. But then as time progressed, I think that the Denver got lackadaisical. And not only that, I think that the coaching was terrible. First of all, why would you put Jamal Murray on the bench that long? When they set that man down, that's when they started making the run. You already know Jamal Murray and the Joker are a tandem. They are the two top players for that team. Why would you put them on? Why would you put Jamal Murray on a bench as long? And then not only that, see, I think like Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was infamous for that with the Warriors. He sit players too long, then expect them to come in and still be hot. No, you leave them on the field, on the floor. You leave them on the floor. This is basically y'all don't get another chance after this. This is a game 7, and they didn't treat it like that. They treated it like they already won and that they were, going to the next round, and that they wanted to rest players. And I understand that he was hurt a little bit, but it wasn't enough to take him off the floor. Just his presence on the floor was enough for the Denver Nuggets. But when you sit him down, you see what happened. The Timberwolves started chipping away at the lead, chipping away, and then they end up taking the lead when the very start of the fourth quarter, after Anthony Edwards hit that big shot at the buzzer. What happened? They still didn't have Jamal Murray on the field, on the floor. They should have kept that man on the floor at least as a decoy. If he couldn't do much, You leave him as a decoy. Even I know that. I'm not coaching. I mean, I know the game well. I know it should transpire. But first of all, the Joker, he was off. So the fact that he was off, yeah, he hit a couple of 3-pointers, but look how many 3-points he missed. He shot them boys out of the game. He kept them in the game, then shot them out the game. That was the whole format. When these two teams first started, they were doing the same thing. They both started off trying to hit home runs, kept shooting the 3-ball. And Denver, I believe that they messed up because they should have just played in the paint. They should have been in the paint all day. Rudy Gobert started guarding the Joker. And y'all already know what happens when Rudy Gobert guard the Joker. It's a bucket. Because the Timberwolves coach, he was silly enough to put Karl Anthony Towns on the bench after having a lot of success versus the Joker, which I don't understand that. But when he sat down, Joker started going to work versus Rudy Gobert. He can't guard him at all. He too slow. See, Karl Anthony Towns had a little bit more youth. Excuse me. A little bit more youth on his side because, he can move, he can bang with him. I mean, he gave a little push on some occasions, but, he made it hard for the Joker. That's why I really felt like Timberwolves had a chance to beat this team. And that's the main reason, because they had two centers that can play and coexist at the same time. But Joker, man, even though that man had like 18 rebounds, he had to do a lot. That dude is dog tired. I won't be surprised if this dude sleep for the next 3 days. That's how tired and exhausted this man looked. And I know Eric Gordon did what he can, but at the same time, man, like other players should have gave more. Now, Caldwell Pope, he did okay for the amount of shots that he shot, but he should have did more. Most of these other players should have did more. And every play was ran through the Joker, and it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have been that way. I think Porter Jr., he shot them out the game. He wasn't on. He should have been, more. He should have been more involved on the rebounds and should have been a lot more physical. And they just wasn't doing that. But that's how you give up. If you want to give up a 20-point lead, that's how you do it. You have bad coaching by taking your best player out. Remember, do this look familiar? Didn't the Lakers do the same thing and they made the same mistake, but the coach did not learn that a 20-point lead is not safe in the NBA, especially in these rules? And they have like a lot of bad calls going towards the Timberwolves. Like, man, if I was them, I would have just been pounding the ball inside. I would have had the Joker working, not from the top of the key. I would have had him down low because they could not guard him. It didn't make sense to keep putting him out there. And on top of that, he didn't have a hot night, a hot shooting night. I think that man missed probably about 10. It got to be like 10 threes. You know what I'm saying? So the Timberwolves, they showed that they belong. I thought they were the better team. I just thought that experience was going to somewhat kick in at some point, which it did. But then they showed you that they are still a little bit too inexperienced, although they do have an NBA championship ring. And the reason I say that is because when you have a 20-point lead, I don't care what the coach say. You stay aggressive and you continue to work through the Joker. And now if he's tired, call a timeout. Like, that's basically all you do. You call a timeout. You feel what I'm saying? And they didn't do that. The Wolves won, man. They showed you heart. So now what that did, man, they just gave them a lot of experience because this is they first year, being in the playoffs in a while at least. And all you see is that it just gave them a lot more experience and belief. So them moving forward, beating the top dogs, the champions. Now they feel like they're gonna be able to beat anybody. And on top of that, they got a tough task ahead of them because they play Dallas. Now I could see them matching up with Dallas a lot easier than than they did with Denver, because Denver, not only did they do pick and rolls, he says he said Tim's are Nuggets. Now I'm saying basically they have what it takes to actually win the whole thing, but they do play another team, I guess team that's not youthful, because Kyrie's kind of getting up there, but then Doncic is very young. He's a young player, so he'll be able to do something. But I don't think that they should be able to hang with them because they don't have a joker and they don't have a tower. They don't have rim protection like that. You know what I'm saying? So they should be able to do enough to actually win. And also, man, if y'all like the content, man, definitely hit the subscribe button. Appreciate y'all being in here. But yeah, that's what I seen, man. I seen all night the the Timberwolves cannot get over the hump. And all Denver started doing was continue looking for the three shot. They should have just continued to work from the inside out. But instead, they continued to have a joker at the top of the key, which is the dumbest thing that you can do. That was the silliest thing that you can do. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, look, I'm kind of excited though. Denver was kind of boring. I am excited, but like I think that this just enhanced the chance of the Celtics winning the whole thing. But they got a lot on their hands. The fact that the Pacers won, they were the top teams in the league. They were the top scoring team in the league. And I told people that was going to be a problem because they got scorers that can score. And I don't care if Drew Holiday guard Burton, they got other players that can actually play. So therefore, it's going to be a tough series for the Boston Celtics. So I don't even see them winning, to be honest. You feel what I'm saying? I just don't see it. But it is what it is, man. But I am surprised, being that if it was the other way around, then I wouldn't, because I would say that the inexperience of the Timberwolves, Minnesota Timberwolves, it would have been their inexperience that would have allowed a team to come back to win. But instead, it was the more experienced championship team that gave up the deficit. So anytime that you lose in that way, you're up 20 and then you don't get it done. That is the most heartbreakingest way to lose any game. For anybody that plays sports, you should know that is a tough way to lose the ball game, because you had it in the bag. You just didn't do enough. They didn't stay hungry. And on top of that, man, I got to give the Minnesota Timberwolves a lot of credit, because basically they end up getting a lot of steals. You seen Ant-Man had at least two open court steals, one from Murray, the other one from I believe it was Bron for putback. No, the other one versus the Jokic for a putback. So these dudes, man, they knew that they believed. Knew that they belong, and they believed in the whole team in that show. You know what I'm saying? But man, thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if y'all haven't, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.